welcome to you, particularly Alina from Germany.
Hello.
Hello. And you've got a question about goals and when to give up on them, when to pursue them.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking about when it's good to keep fighting and working for a dream or a goal, and when to know if it's better to lose it because it takes up much time and energy and it, yeah, doesn't make you happy anymore, maybe.
Mm. Okay, cool. That's a good one. I'm sure I've had that situation. I'm sure everyone else has too. Um, so I'm just going to tune in and let the angels give you the answer. It shouldn't take too long.
Okay.
Okay. Welcome to you, Alina. We love this question because, as Victoria has said, it is so um, prevalent. This situation when you have a desire of your heart and you long for it, and somehow it's not coming or it's not happening, and it can feel like a real struggle. And sometimes for some people it can feel as though you'd prefer you'd never even thought of the idea. And sometimes this is in your work, or sometimes it's in your relationships, or sometimes it's something you've always wanted, like a home. um, so many things. And you do not need to share with us what exactly your your hope or dream or goal is, but we can generally answer in a way that we feel will help you and inspire you and give you hope.
That would
So,
be nice.
so the first thing is to consider the language that you used. So you asked when about fighting for your dream, fighting for your goal. And we would like to begin by inviting you to reconsider the language, just because we feel that when you are fighting, it implies that there is no one on your side, that you have to strive and struggle, and that it is going to be some kind of a battle to achieve the dream. And we would like to assure you and reassure you that you never, as a human being, have a desire in your heart which you cannot manifest in some form that satisfies that desire. Uh, so, to elaborate on this, sometimes the things and situations and events that you desire are not exactly how you picture them. So you might have an idea that if you get the promotion in your job, or if you get the man or woman of your dreams, or if you get the home or the car or the clothes or whatever it is, that you will then have this happiness, this feeling of joy, this feeling of bliss, this feeling of achievement, this feeling of satiation, of satisfactions. And sometimes this doesn't actually happen this way. So you might get the man or the woman or the job or the car or whatever it is, and then you might find yourself wondering, hmm, where is this feeling that I was hoping to have? Where is this feeling? And so it is important that you consider the goal becoming a feeling rather than a specific event or situation, because it makes it much, much, much easier for you to be attractive to an outcome which actually matches and resonates with the feeling. And so this makes it much, much easier all around, because when you eliminate the specifics, you give yourself a lot more scope. So all kinds of different people or situations could come along and easily match your your frequency that you are putting out. So it is though you begin to broadcast the frequency that you would like to experience more of. And so if that frequency is simply just a light-hearted, playful sense of joy and exuberance and excitement, then this is quite easy because you can find situations in your life in which you've already had this feeling. And if you cannot find them in your own life, you can actually find them in someone else's. And this is why we feel that you, as human beings, could benefit greatly and perhaps even more than you already do from looking at the lives of other people. And we understand that you already do this because you look at each other's social media accounts and you look at the pictures of people being really happy. And perhaps you look at films in which people are very happy, or you read stories in which people are happy. But many of you see other people's happiness as a reason to judge and criticize yourselves for not having the same happiness. And so, for many of you, looking at each other's social media accounts is actually a painful experience because it reminds you that you do not feel as though you've achieved this happiness, this success. And we um, invite you and perhaps even go so far as to advise strongly that you reconsider this approach to other people's happiness. Because really, the happiness that others are expressing is contributing greatly to the overall happiness of you as as human beings and as beings in general. um, when one of you raises your frequency, you collectively raise your frequency. So it is as though every little tiny, tiny drop of happiness that you can experience is contributing to the happiness of the whole, because you're actually all one being. And we do appreciate and realize that it's not always easy for you to see yourselves this way, and that quite often you see yourselves as very much separate from each other and separate from the rest of the beings, the animals, and all the other species. And sometimes you feel as though you're in competition with the other beings, so that if there is happiness, there's only a certain amount, it's not very big, and you have to fight for your little bit. But this is absolutely absolutely not the case. So, the more you smile, the more smiles can be felt. And we would invite you all now who are watching to smile at this very moment, a big smile, and just imagine the most happiness that you can possibly summon, the happiest experience you've ever had in your entire life, or that you can even imagine, and just feel yourselves begin to resonate with everyone else who is doing this. So everyone else who is smiling, everyone else is feeling happy, just feel their frequency. Just notice how it feels in you to experience this frequency of happiness or joy or excitement or bliss, whatever you want to call it. And just notice how big it's getting as you allow it in and as you contribute more to it. Imagine yourself actually sharing it. So imagine that there is even a little uh, light beam coming out of you, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger as it moves its way through the globe, and it encompasses every being of every species who is interested in feeling this. And the more time that you can spend doing this very, very simple exercise, the more you grow this frequency. in your own energy field and in the collective consciousness of everyone on your planet. So we have slightly digressed from your question, but what we are trying to say is that it is always, always, always possible for you to manifest, to have, to create, and achieve happiness in your life. And sometimes you have decided that there is a strategy or a series of steps that you must take in order to achieve a goal, which will then bring the happiness. And perhaps this can seem like very, very hard work sometimes because it can be, hmm, it can be that you are taking action that is not actually in the flow, not actually the right action at that particular time. So you may find some of you who are running businesses that you're bashing your heads off a wall and trying really hard to sell your product or your service, and nobody's buying. And the more that nobody's buying, the more you feel that you must work harder and harder and be cleverer than everyone else and come up with strategies that no one else has thought of, and perhaps stay up all night thinking of strategies and spend more time working on your goal, pursuing your goal, and figuring out how to make it happen. And this can be terribly, terribly tiring and absolutely exhausting because you are not using the full potential that you have available to you. So it is as though you are trying to run a marathon with your legs tied together. So you're hopping along instead of running. So you're not using your full um, capacity. You're not operating on your most um, energy, really. It is the energy. It is all about the energy. So the energy that you're using is actually causing you to feel depleted and tired and drained and mentally exhausted because you cannot stop thinking about what am I doing wrong? What should I have done? What should I do? How did some other people manage this when I haven't managed it? And so many questions, and then the mind just takes over, and that's a recipe for exhaustion. And so we would definitely say give up the fight, give up the struggle, give up the battle, but do not give up the dream and do not give up the hope and do never, never, never give up the desire because the desire will not actually allow you to give it up. Once it has appeared, the desire has a life of its own and it has already become realized in your blueprint, shall we say, in your blueprint. And it is your job, if you wish to call it that, to simply resonate with the frequency of the desired outcome. So when you can feel how happy you're going to feel when you've achieved whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, you bring happiness more and more and more into your blueprint, into your energy body, and into your vibrational frequency, so that you become a match for it. So it is very, very simple. We know that you've all heard about the law of attraction, and some of you may have dismissed it and decided that it's much too simple, much too easy, cannot possibly work because it's far too easy. But we assure you that it is absolutely 1,000,000% effective if you are willing to really actually vibrate at the frequencies that you wish to create rather than at the frequencies of struggle or of hopelessness or of trying to work out how to get there. So, in your case, we see you being very, very, very close to this outcome that you desire. And so you can relax. You can absolutely relax. You can take a little mental holiday and you can really just spend some time fantasizing or creating in your mind, imagining how you will respond to this outcome and how your life will change and how wonderful it will be and how exciting and how this will open you up to many, many, many other new possibilities and perspectives in your life. And we would invite all of you watching to take an opportunity to do this even now, to just pick something that you have been dreaming of, hoping for, wishing for, trying to create, and just imagine that it has already happened. We have created it for you. It's right here, right now. What happens next? How do you feel? How do you respond? What do you do when this has already happened? Just think for a moment. And you may wish to actually answer that question. What will you do now that it has already happened for you?
Mm, I think I want to keep that feeling, that happiness that it did happen. Um, but I think that human beings aren't made for yeah, stagnation, but they always need more goals, and they always develop more dreams. So I think yeah, I will come up with something different now that I yeah, want to achieve or that I want to work for.
Absolutely. You're 100% correct. People, human beings continually create, and it is the life force essence who is creating. It is you as creators, it is you as beautiful, powerful beings of light who are doing this creating and visioning. And sometimes when you are visioning, it is important to consider how does it feel perhaps to vision sometimes more hmm, with more of a playful attitude, as though you were children in a playground and you were simply doing it for the fun of it, for the amusement. So today I think I will create a business that turns over millions, and then tomorrow perhaps I'll just become somebody who sits around baking cakes for a laugh. And so making it not so serious, we feel this will lighten it for you. There is a little bit of heaviness in the energy of a serious goal, and we feel that sometimes this gets in the way because it makes you feel that you have to have a backup plan and you have to have a strategy, and you can't just allow things to unfold because it's very serious. So if it's just something fun that you're doing to amuse yourself in your spare time, it is actually quite likely that that will manifest more quickly in your life just because you haven't attached so much seriousness to it. And so, yes, you're absolutely right. You will have many more ideas, many more dreams and more aspirations. And they can also come very easily if you're willing to be a little bit light about them, a little bit playful. We hope this has answered your question.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was really helpful.
Wonderful. And we shall expect to see you smiling from now on.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on this channel and for asking the question and for allowing so many other people to benefit from the question.